And I'm like, I paid a lot of money to be a part of it. I'm going to get a lot out of it. And that's one of the things I realized is it doesn't matter if I paid a lot of money or no money. It's what I put into it is what I'm going to get out of it. Once you start paying for things, you become friends with the people in these groups or the leaders in these groups. And then all of a sudden you're not paying for things because you're part of these rooms and a part of these conversations.
I feel like the franchise world is a little bit different than the traditional world that you and I are kind of familiar with masterminds and coaching and stuff like that. What are some of the investments that you've made over the last, 10 years or so in different circles? And, kind of what has that led to? And what's your overall philosophy on that?
It's led to how I've structured some of my masterminds, how I've structured what we do at Front Street, and just how I view the value of my time, and the value of a network. I started probably 8 years ago. I used to be a consultant. I'm not doing consulting or brokering anymore, so I don't do any of that. But I was doing that at the time. I was a franchisee at the time, and I got introduced to a mastermind more around the world of marketing, internet marketing specifically, and building small businesses. And I think it was 25 or $30,000. And I'm like, people are actually
For
paying
the year?
a year. And I'm like, people actually pay this. And then all of a sudden I leave and I'd, given 25 or $30,000. And now I'm part of this mastermind. And I'm like, I paid a lot of money to be a part of it. I'm going to get a lot out of it. And that's one of the things I realized is it doesn't matter if I paid a lot of money or no money. It's what I put into it is what I'm going to get out of it. And I saw a lot of people go into there and it was just, for people to make new friends. But I'm like, I need to build a network. And a lot of it for me was relationship. And then a friend there, I got introduced to a friend, Pete, at that mastermind. I ended up joining a free little group that he had where we would just get together Monday mornings to talk shop about different businesses. And Ryan was a part of that group at that time. And then that led to just getting to know Ryan over these Zoom calls that we would randomly do. Nobody was paying for them. We just met at a mastermind, and then Pete's a big networker. He works with Grant Cardone and Patrick
Is that Pete
McDavid, and
Vargas?
yeah, and all those people. So Pete became a good friend of mine, and then I got to know Ryan. And so it's like, one thing leads to another. And as I look back at that mastermind, that first one that I did, it allowed me to join other groups. I met my good buddy Aaron Stokes, who has Shop Fix Academy and a number of brick and mortar auto mechanic shop places. And he went from bankrupt to almost bankrupt to making an insane amount of money at his shops and through his own mastermind. And now I got to know Sharon through Aaron, and Aaron. I'm part of a little group with Aaron, and I've been to his place many times just to go out there and learn. So once you start paying for things, you become friends with the people in these groups or the leaders in these groups. And then all of a sudden you're not paying for things because you're part of these rooms and a part of these conversations. And that led to me creating my own masterminds for franchisees and franchisors. And I was doing that at the same time my buddy Justin Donalds was creating the Lifestyle Investor Mastermind. And that led to, so we were creating two masterminds at the same time. Then that led to us starting a mastermind for investors together. So he's got one that's like 55,000. We've got one that's $25,000 a year that we run together. And so, but I look back based on your question, and if I hadn't paid that $25,000-$30,000 originally, I wouldn't have met Pete. I wouldn't have met Ryan. I wouldn't have gone into these different groups. I wouldn't have the friendships that I have today, and I wouldn't have started the Facebook group that I have in franchising on that big Facebook group. I started that because my buddy Aaron Stokes is like, Eric, the way I grew Shop Fix Academy is I started a Facebook group. You got to start a Facebook group. And he walked me through an hour of exactly how to do it. And I did it a year after he told me how to do it. And it's been probably one of the more valuable things that has been free for me to do. but it's curated this group. So that sounds like a big, like a weaving story, but it all started with me paying for a mastermind. And today, if there's a group that cost me $10,000 or $20,000 or $50,000 to be a part of, I can recognize if I'm going to get the value out of it, whether it's personally, professionally, network, or tactical stuff. And I'm happy to do it if it's the right one. So long answer, but but I wouldn't be where I am today without paying for that first mastermind.
If you enjoyed this short clip from the podcast, you can check out another short clip right here. Or if you want to watch the full episode of this podcast, you can watch that here. And remember, knowledge is not power. It's applied knowledge that's power. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.